Stay for me, a little family for me. You know I love you for me. Please stay with me, stay with me. Oh, a little family for me. You know I love you for me. Please stay with me, stay with me. A little family for me. You know I love you for me. Please stay with me, stay with me. Me, for me, you know I love you for me. Please stay with me. Baby girl, I got another way. I love you every day and night. I go still the one to you. Let me be your superstar. Gonna take you high to the sky. Oh, love for me, for me. You want me more fair value. Uma shisha kara kara. Kimbali fiya shaya. You're my one desire.
A very warm welcome to all our listeners around the world. You're welcome to the Tony Tukumbo Fernandez Show, a show that promotes the true life and success stories of African and Caribbean achievers around the world. So if there's a product or initiative you wish to share, feel free to give us a call. The number is 0788 280 9005. That number once again is 0788 280 9005. Also, take time to visit our website at www.tonyfernandez.co.uk. And for the rest of this year, we have guests booked up on our show, all about promoting the true life stories of African and Caribbean achievers around the world. If no one promotes our narrative, it's all in our hands to be the change we want to see in society. Also watch this update space for our Black History Month celebrations taking place at the UK House of Parliament on Friday, the 28th of October. Very limited spaces. And after 2 years of COVID not being in Parliament, it's going to be a pleasure to see everyone again. Today we're moving all the way to Birmingham in the West Midlands. I'm going to be speaking to a good friend I've known for many years now. We've had a nice time together, shared lunch together. We've even traveled to Italy together. And it's a very important show today. She is based in Birmingham, Midlands, and she studied Paediatrics at the City University in Birmingham. She went on to study sociology at Open University and also psychology at the University of East London. Today, she's going to talk about her story and how she's been a survivor of cancer on 2 occasions, as well as her campaign to brand more awareness about cancer in the community and around the world. So, Mercia, lovely to see you. You're looking very, very relaxed today. And many people will not guess because you're always walking round the clock. So it takes a lot of strength when people see you and you're looking very calm under these circumstances. It's a show everyone's going to listen to today. And our listeners around the world would like to know a bit about yourself, your background, and the things you're most passionate about in life.
Well, thank you, Tony. Well, I'm Mercia. I'm a paediatric specialist nurse and a service delivery lead. So I specialise in sick children. So that's what I do. And my passion is basically getting the word out there, campaigning about cancer, to just bring the awareness, just to make people understand changes in their bodies. So if they are concerned about something, to go to the GP. Because we're from a Black and ethnic minority background, what sometimes we find is that when we do present ourselves to our service providers, unfortunately, there are health inequalities. So I am told that sometimes people are ignored or fobbed off, or it's blamed on mental health, or for women blamed on the good old period, and that may not always be the case. So I do think it's very important, because unfortunately with cancers. The prognosis is gets less when you get diagnosed later and later, and unfortunately people still die of cancer today, although, you know, there's still a lot of people surviving like myself. So yeah.
Now, you were born and brought up in the UK. You have a Nigerian and Jamaican parentage. What was life growing up like as a child, as a black young lady? And how did that influence your outlook in life?
Ah, very interesting. Two different cultures. I have a traumatic childhood, so loads of things happened to me. But in terms of the difference in background, very, very different. But it's great to be able to do jollof rice and peas. It's fantastic, and the best of both worlds, as I call it. Could go to two different continents. It's fantastic. Yeah, and I, you know, despite all what I've been through, I still have a sunshine approach to things. It's not that I ignore what I've been through. It's just that you know, I'm still here. So I'm grateful for that, you know. Just
Yeah. And being here in the present moment is such a blessing. People don't really realize what things go through in life, in the background, in the dramas that occur from us from day to day. Now, you've been a survivor of cancer twice, and now you're out there campaigning for more cancer research awareness around the world. The first time you realized that you had cancer, what was that feeling like? And what was the feeling like to go through that journey, knowing you had that at the back of your mind?
it was devastating, a complete and utter shock. I'm a mother, and it's the most scariest feeling on the planet. It traumatized my family, and particularly my parents, who didn't imagine that they would be burying their child. That's what they were thinking. And then you then start thinking of life and seeing things in a different manner. It was devastating. I didn't get the best support from the NHS, even though I'm from there, work for them. I am grateful to be alive. However, the support, particularly emotionally, was just appalling. Yeah, it was a total shock. Total shock. Yeah.
And what did that whole process teach you about yourself? Because that journey must have also taught you something about yourself.
The journey, because a lot of people, they think that, oh well, you know, you survived cancer, it must have been the prayer. No, that's not enough. It's a whole thing. So it's your spirit, it's accepting the diagnosis. Sometimes different people cope with the journey differently. So some people try and find a cause. So they'd be like, oh well, it must have been I did X, Y, and Z. I was pretty fit and well before, so I had no reason to suspect that, you know, that I had the cancer. And unfortunately, from the community that I come from, some people think that somebody has done some sort of something juju on you. No, I just had cancer. And then some people think, oh, it must be maybe you were smoking, maybe you took drugs. No, I did not smoke. No, I didn't take drugs. And even if that it was the case, then, you know, but some people go through that. So you go through the stage where people then start trying to find a reason. If we had a reason for cancer, then, you know, there would have been like a cure by now. But so you go through that, and certain cultural elements, which is like somebody must have put something on you from your family. So you get that as well. And then you get the other thing where which is, I believe, is personal choice, where people don't want you to talk about it. It's okay, you have your cancer, but you have your cancer quietly over there. And the only time you're allowed to talk about it is if you went to church and said that, you know, obviously your prayers did it alone. And there's nothing wrong with prayers. Prayers is very important, having a spiritual aspect. But the most important thing you mentioned is that I'm born in the UK. Now, if I was born in anywhere else, I would be dead. And I always say this to people, that I am grateful for the NHS to be able to walk into a hospital and be treated for free. No matter how much I can complain about it, I was treated for free, didn't have to pay a penny. And if I had to have found the money, I'm not sure that I would have been able to do so. And I don't think, particularly for those in the UK, I don't think people realise how, and that's what I took away from it, how just having healthcare free at the point of service is very, very important, just to have access to. I've nursed in Africa, and it's a privilege which I wish that everybody else had access to. It really is.
Now, there are many people today listening to today's show. Some of them have cancer, some of them have glaucoma, some of them have all kinds of conditions, but they also have hope. And sometimes to have hope is easier said than done. What advice do you have to those people today?
To do what helps you keep shining. That's what I say. And anything that doesn't, get rid of it. That's what I would say. If prayer is what you need, then it is. But for some people, if religion is not your thing and it's reading a book and going for a walk, do that. If it's listening to a particular type of music, do that. Just find what keeps you shining. That's what I would say. And if you can't, to go and reach out to somebody to get help, because in our community, a lot of people hide things and think that they should keep it a secret. So I'm used to coming across Facebook and then seeing a cloud and in the memory of blah, 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 blah. No, there are people who want to know that you know you're going through something. And whilst there may be one person who will ignore you, the next person may very well help you. And I always say you'll be surprised what people, even complete strangers, would do for you. When I had my cancer, my neighbour, who was Asian, cooked most of my meals for me, didn't ask for a penny. So I say to people, you'll be very surprised what people will do for you. You know, things like this, you see the best of people, you really do. So I'd say reach out to somebody.
Yeah, and I know I don't say it enough, but I'm very proud of you, because this journey and this experience also inspired you to go the extra mile to become a cancer ambassador. And you're doing so many things behind the scene now to create awareness. Can you talk us through your cancer campaign so far, what the journey has been like, and where next are you going to take it to? Yes.
Well, most people who have cancer want to do something. So a lot of the people do Race for Life, which is fine. And it's great fun. It's a lovely way of raising awareness. But for me, it might have been because of my journey being Black and stuff like that. I just felt that policy makes a big difference. So I decided to go through the policy where I look at certain policies and work with Cancer Research UK in campaigning to these MPs of certain policies that will help improve people's lives, like early intervention, like some support and access to CNN, certain specialist nurses, and just campaigning for that. And also certain policies or certain things can help people who have cancer, though people may not see it that way. So one of the things we're doing now is campaigning for a smoke-free Britain, England, UK. And the reason for that is that smoking is just not responsible for lung cancer, but it's responsible for 14 other cancers. But what people don't realise is that smoking can affect your surgery. So if you smoke too much, you might not be anaesthetized. So even if you want your wisdom tooth out, that could affect that. And it's not about us saying, don't you smoke. It's about the fact that we know that these companies have not told you that cigarettes are addictive, and it's to give you the choice so that you know that when you pick your first cigarette up, that that's a powerful drug that you're smoking, and you're going to be addicted to it, most people, and find it difficult to put it down. The majority of people I know don't want to smoke. And so it's about supporting those who smoke to give up and want to give up, and trying to stop those who are younger from not taking up the habit in the first place, and just giving people choice. So that's the idea. People have a choice so that they are aware that this is what it does to your health, because these lucrative companies don't tell you, and they target poor areas, encouraging us to do things that are bad for our health. And stuff like obesity, you mentioned, like glaucoma and stuff like that. Obesity and cancer is well linked. So you will have these companies, particularly in our poor areas, we have loads of chicken shops and all of that, and they'll be encouraging us to eat it, where we'll be saying to the government, well, where's our fresh fruit? Where's things that we can eat that are low cost and healthy for us? So that's the sort of thing we do in terms of campaigning and just bringing awareness for government and people around, not to lecture people about their private life, but I feel that people, if they're armed with information, can make a informed decision, and that's all I, try and do, so that they can make a real decision about their life. You can't make a real decision if you don't have the full information. So that's what we do.
Fantastic. Now, the journey so far, the campaign so far, do you feel fulfilled, or you think there's more work to be done?
Well, we do more work all the time. So all the time I always go down and always go to Parliament. And I was there the other day campaigning to any MP that cares to listen. And if they don't care to listen, I will campaign anyway until they do. And I bring, it's not just me, it's other people. Will bring other people's stories. There's people who have died of cancer that they weren't listened to, that they were waiting for pathways, so government set up different pathways for different sets of cancers, and sometimes they don't work. And so we notice trends, so we will go there with evidence, and we will evidence this thing. We won't just say, oh, Mercia said. No, we'll come there with we notice that you've started this pathway, but it's not working for these sorts of groups of people. So that's the sort of thing we do, just to make things easier for people, because we would like a cure. That's what we would like. And before we get there, if we can get people diagnosed as early as possible, because they have better outcomes. They live 10 years and above, and that's what I would like. The journey is very horrible. I don't want no one to have to go through it.
The journey continues. For
Yes.
the benefit of all our listeners listening around the world today, if they would like to get involved with your campaign, how possible is it for them to reach you or collaborate in some form?
They could contact me via email at nejensen 27@gmail.com, and I can talk to them about how they wish to get involved. But it's just mainly just being aware of yourself, and if people wish to campaign, they can. Yeah, I think it's a very good idea. That's if that's what they wish to do, because people do different things. So some people run, some people go and do the leaflets. People do different things that just reflects their personality and what they want to do. And I always say to people, get involved in your community. It's important. Leave a legacy for the children. Yeah, do that. It's important.
It's funny because legacy is a word I use on this show a lot.
Yeah.
And it's a word people don't really use these days that much itself. Talking about creating legacies to make the world a better place. What are your core values as a person?
I believe in family. I feel that you should get the best version of an individual. I believe that most people have goodness in them, and I believe in God. Not everybody does, but that's just me. So yeah. That's my core values.
And on a very final note, what message do you have for all our listeners around the world today?
Well, I wish everybody well, but if you have any concerns, do go to your GP. And if they don't listen, go back and be a nuisance. And even if you spoke to them at 4 o'clock with one concern, but at 6 o'clock, you had a new concern, do tell them, because the thing is that healthcare professionals build up pictures about what you say. And it's not necessarily that they may not be listening, but sometimes they might have tunnel vision about a particular reason for your condition. So sometimes by going back, although it's annoying, it's important. And I do say any concerns, do contact your GP. And if you don't, you can go to the Cancer Research UK if you're concerned. We do have a sort of like a checker on there of certain symptoms, but we do say do go to your GP. Don't get too alarmed, because some symptoms may just be something not cancer related, but it is important if you are concerned to get it checked out. That's what I would say. Don't sit on it. That's what I would say.
Amazing. Keep up the amazing work you're doing. I'm proud of you, and we'll catch up soon, and God bless you.
God bless you too.